All right, let's talk about one of the biggest, most out there ideas in human history, transhumanism. And to really get our heads around it, we're going to use this incredible tool called the Ouroboros framework. It's going to help us see what makes it tick and where it might all fall apart. I mean, at its core, what are we talking about? It's the ultimate quest, right? To beat the things that have defined us forever, getting old, getting sick, and yeah, even death itself. So the whole idea is that we shouldn't just accept our biological blueprint. We can, and maybe we should, use tech to literally evolve ourselves. But, an ambition that big, it brings up a huge question. And this is really the heart of the matter. To dig into this, we're going to use that Ouroboros framework I mentioned. You know the image, right? The snake eating its own tail. It's a perfect metaphor here because it helps us see how transhumanism might be stuck in a loop, constantly creating the very problems it's trying to solve. So here's the game plan. We'll look at the core loop, the big tensions, why the whole system is so shaky, and then what we can do about it, the tools and ethics we're going to need. All right, first up, the loop of transcendence. Let's dig into the core conflict that's really driving this whole thing. Okay, so it all boils down to this epic clash. On one side, you've got us, our bodies. They're kind of fixed, pretty fragile. And on the other side, technology. And it's just getting faster and faster, totally relentless. Now, here's the key insight from the framework. This conflict isn't just a problem they need to fix. No. It's the engine. It's what gives the whole movement its power. So how does that engine actually work? Let's pop the hood. This is where the framework gets really cool. It breaks that main conflict down into 4 major tensions. Think of it like mapping out the system's internal wiring. Tension number 1 is the big one, the most obvious. It's our biology, the simple, unavoidable fact that we get old and die, smashing right up against technology that's being built for one reason, to completely shatter those limits. And it's not a gentle process. We're talking radical, chaotic jumps forward. Okay, the second tension. This one is a real paradox. Think about it. The very thing that could give us the biggest breakthrough ever, a superintelligent AI, the singularity, is also the exact same thing that could pose the biggest threat to our existence. It's like the bigger the potential reward, the bigger the potential disaster. Then we've got the third tension, and this one is all about society. The dream, the sales pitch, is this beautiful idea of improving life for everyone. But let's be real. The reality? These technologies are going to be crazy expensive, super powerful, and they'll almost certainly create a massive new divide in society. You'll have the enhanced and, well, everyone else. And that brings us to the fourth tension. This one's a bit more philosophical. It's the known versus the unknown. We're great at measuring stuff, right? Physics, biology, we can put numbers on those. But consciousness? What even is that? How can you talk about uploading a mind when we can't even define the thing we're trying to upload? It's this giant, mysterious black box right in the middle of the whole project. So, okay, you've got all these massive forces pulling in totally different directions. You have to ask, how stable can this whole system actually be? Well, the framework's analysis here is, let's just say it's pretty alarming. And this chart just lays it all out, crystal clear. Look at that. The drive for progress, all the money, the ambition, the sheer speed of it is just off the charts. And then look at our ability to actually manage it, to put in safety rails. It's tiny in comparison. We've got a rocket engine with bicycle brakes. So what does that mean? It means the whole system, as it stands right now, is just fundamentally, dangerously imbalanced. It's a system that's pretty much built for chaos. We're flooring the accelerator without a steering wheel, heading straight for, well, who knows what. Now, that sounds pretty bad, right? And it is. We can't just cross our fingers and hope it all works out. But the good news is, the framework doesn't just point out the problem. It actually gives us a toolkit, a kind of strategic playbook for how to navigate this mess. And what's so interesting about this toolkit is that it's not about inventing some new gadget. It's about something way more fundamental: control, strategy, and ethics. It's a step-by-step path from putting out the immediate fires, like runaway AI, all the way to building a completely new moral compass for whatever comes after human. Okay, so let's zoom in on that last and honestly most important part, the post-human ethic. How do we actually solve these massive ethical dilemmas and find a North Star to guide us? The framework calls the central problem a meta-paradox, which is just a fancy way of saying it's a tangled mess of contradictions. I mean, look at this tension loop. To stop this tech from creating a super elite, you need rules, right? Regulation. But the moment you put in those rules, you risk choking off the innovation that makes the whole thing possible in the first place. It's a total catch-22. This whole thing is so ridiculously complex that the framework's conclusion is pretty humbling. We can't figure this out on our own. Our brains just aren't built for it. So it proposes this idea of a cognitive spiral, basically a formal partnership. We let AI do what it's good at, run the numbers, model the insane cascading consequences, and we do what we're good at, provide the values, the ethics, and decide what kind of future we actually want. So the end game here isn't a new piece of technology. It's an ethical breakthrough. The whole point is to find what the framework calls a singular truth, one core, non-negotiable rule that can anchor the entire system and keep it from spinning into chaos. And a principle like this one, it becomes the bedrock for everything that follows. It's the thing that makes sure all this incredible technology actually serves everyone, not just a handful of people at the top. That is the key takeaway. That's the ultimate safeguard. So in the end, the Ouroboros framework does more than just explain transhumanism. It kind of puts the ball squarely in our court. We are literally on the verge of rewriting our own source code. And this whole analysis makes one thing incredibly clear. The most critical question we face is the one we absolutely must answer first.